how many of you guys know shady marketers that sell shit that they don't believe in themselves? Thank you. Okay. In my business, most of the guys that are at the very top of the game are really ethical people, and they walk the walk. The top 5 guys in our industry, I'm one of them, and the other 4 definitely do. There are 2 other guys that are easily top 10 that don't at all. They're not even remotely healthy. One of them's downright fat. By the way, when I use the word fat, please don't take that as, I'm talking descriptive in my business. I'm not trying to be rude. But if you're going to write a book on, this is my rule. If you're going to write a book on weight loss, you should be shirtless on the cover. Or if you're a girl, you should be, I'm serious. Don't write a book on weight loss and be some fat doctor. That pisses me off. What do you know about it? Nothing. You'd be doing it yourself, right? So you should show yourself, right? So, but it's even worse when a marketer does it. When a marketer goes out and says, I'm going to sell an information product on how to make money on the internet, and I'm broke. You know? I'm going to tell people how to pick up women, and I have to buy prostitutes. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's just, I'm not pointing because he does. Sorry about that. Sorry about that NLP gesture there, Kyle. No, Kyle stuff is great. So the same thing goes here. You got to make sure, please, I hope you guys are really, really in love with your product in this respect. That you know it works, that you know this stuff is really good for people. So that really will come through. Is that good moral lesson there? See, I'm not all evil. Yes, sir.
The last slide on the tip, the get this, where you force the body to desire high calorie. So what is that tip? I'm guessing maybe it's physical activity. And if it is physical activity, how do you avoid a drop off like, oh no, that's what I've heard before?
It is and it isn't. To talk to me after this, unless everybody wants to know the answer to this question when we're getting it.
It's important because
boy,
it is something that
I've written a hell of a sales letter, haven't I?
And that you don't like, you're going to lose people because they're going to say, oh, I've heard that.
Perfect. I don't want them.
Okay.
I don't want them. That's the whole thing. You don't want people that aren't going to do with the shit that they have to do. So, and by the way, I go into that. It's like, you know, so my third book was called 7 Minute Body. I beat Tim Ferriss by 3 hours and 53 minutes. And I did it three years before he wrote that book, that bastard. So I loved him. He's a great writer, but 4 Hour Body. I remember him showing me the title of the book and going, I get the branding, 4 Hour Work Week, 4 Hour Body, but 4 Hour Body, okay. That's about what normal people train like in my business. So it's the big deal. It's kind of normal. But 7 Minute Body, that's weird, right? And people are like, oh, there's no way you can do this in 7 minutes. Yes, you can. I don't even like to do it. I just train normal. But I wanted to write a book for people that had no time, and they used time as an excuse. And I proved they could do it in 7, 14, or 21 minutes. 21 if you want to be a bodybuilder, 14 if you want to be a fitness person, and 7 if you just want to lose weight and stay toned. No such thing. Build muscle or lose it. But you get the idea. So 7 minutes. I can walk somebody through a workout in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, no matter how good in condition you are, you will be drenched with sweat and you will be dead. And to prove it, I took it for one of my videos, FYI, British Special Forces guy, lives down the street from me, works out 3.5 hours a day minimum, is in phenomenal cardiovascular shape, strong as an ox. 7 minutes, he was drenched. He was drenched. He was like, I cannot believe this is this hard. Yeah, it's nothing. Again, this is nothing new. This is a glorified. You know Vince Gironda? Oh, no? Okay, well, we need to talk. Vince Gironda is a trainer back in the 60s and 70s who came up with density training. Then it became German high volume training, which is all nonsense. It's all Vince Gironda's method. So you train fast. You use less weight. You train fast. I'll get into the details of that. So later, if anyone's interested. But so 7 Minute Body is built around that. How fast can you get this done in how little time? It's not duration. It's intensity. So that being said, that's how I get around the exercise component. You set your body up to do this because right now, most people who are struggling with that issue, your carbohydrate metabolism is not working properly. And that's because we have never been in the entire civilization of mankind, we've never been surrounded by carbohydrates like this, ever. We are, as someone who I like, Kessler, wrote, we are living in a food carnival. Remember that, sis? A food carnival. I love that phrase. I just wrote a long newsletter about it. and a scathing newsletter that I'm sure I'm going to get unsubscribes for. But we are living in a food carnival where at the first time in human history, we can get carbohydrates processed, we can get really bad fatty foods processed, which are mostly bad because they're chock full of processed carbohydrates. We can get them anytime, and we can get them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never before in history has that ever happened. So what's happened is our glucose metabolism has gotten so screwed up that we don't know what to do with that. Our body was never programmed to deal with this. This is why we have type 2 diabetes. It wasn't even an official disease 100 years ago. It is now. In fact, kids have it. Kids are obese. Have you noticed? Yeah, 40% obesity will be 50% in 15 years. Obese, not overweight. And people are going, why? Well, geez, I wonder, could it possibly be that they're eating unlimited amounts of sugars and carbohydrates and stuff, just going up like that? And then we're not talking about fruits here, guys. We're not talking about vegetables. All those are good carbohydrates. We're not talking about grains. We're talking about junk, right? So how do you set your body up for this? How can it possibly be prepared for it? Well, you drain the glycogen stores, and you have to do that through exercise. That's it. If you're not willing to exercise 7 to 14 minutes a day, forget this plan. If you can't do 7 to 14 minutes a day, I don't feel sorry for you. But if you do 7 to 14 minutes a day, I do longer, but if you do 7 to 14 minutes a day, and the longer you do, the more you can eat, then you can set your body up by going very low carb for a few days, which is how I feel much better doing that anyway. And then on the third or fourth day, or even every other day, as the title suggests, you increase them. If it's every other day, you can only increase them a little bit. If it's every third day, you can increase them more. I like to eat them twice a week and go out and eat whatever the hell I want for one meal. So it keeps me sane. Go eat pizza, go eat sushi, go to a dessert, it's fine. Before I do that, I happen to do heavy squats in the gym, or I happen to do a heavy workout, or I've done 2 days of heavy training in a row. So my body is glycogen depleted. Glycogen, you might know, sugar in your muscle, in your liver. So deplete the glycogen a little bit so you get a little flat. We don't like that as bodybuilders. Then you go and you eat and you go, but you don't do it here, you do it here. So that's the beauty of it. You retrain your glucose metabolism. Literally. And the body's really adaptive. I mean, you know that you can rebuild your pancreas? I mean, you can literally rebuild pancreatic function. I get into all this stuff later, but that's how, to answer your question. So, and I go into that in a less technical way in the book, but I find that pretty fascinating stuff. So, it's also a lot more fun than trying to say, I'm going to eat this every single day. I'm going to, the infamous brown rice and chicken and broccoli diet, good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for you 15 years from now. I personally, and the other thing is people are very deficient of fats. Very deficient of fats. The low-fat myth is, my sis is a nutritionist as well, low-fat myth is absolute nonsense. It's killing people. It's making people very fat very quickly, leading to #1 cause of heart disease, right? People say, it's a high-fat diet. No, it isn't. I cured mine with a high-fat diet. Couldn't possibly be. It's biochemically impossible. So, I'm passionate about this subject, but I don't want to bore you with it. But I want you to be passionate about your subject as like this, to know it really well, and admittedly say, raise your hand and say, I could be wrong. I always like to say that. Look, I could be wrong, and there's other ways of doing this. I'm just saying this is my passion, and I want to share my thing that worked with me and it's worked with 200,000 other people.